I've been in your waters. I'm looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other.
So I think it was about 3 or 4 years since I did a video about how my gear's rigged up, but if you fancy watching the previous one, I've dropped a link in the description. The main changes are the fact that I got rid of my A7S II and bought 2 A7 IIIs instead. I got 2 so that I could shoot interviews with 2 cameras instead of 1, and also have one that's essentially naked so that I could just quickly grab it and use it on my RS2 without having to strip everything off. So on a shoot I can switch between handheld and gimbal without any faffing around. I also decided it was finally time to start using V-mount batteries, and I cannot believe I didn't start using these sooner. I no longer have to have about 10 different batteries for my camera and then another 10 for my monitor and lights. Now I can shoot for a good 4 to 5 hours before the V-mount battery dies, and I've got a couple of 95 watt hour batteries, so I'm good for a day's worth of shooting. I also decided to get a V-mount battery adapter plate rather than a standard plate, so that I could have some extra ports to plug in my monitor, camera, and any USB powered device like my phone if it needed charging. So with the camera and the monitor, I now just use dummy batteries for each of those. I still use a tilter cage. I did get a new one though, as my old one didn't quite fit the A7S III, even though it is for the A7 series. I also have a small rig cage, but I love the tilter cages. So I got one for the main camera, and I use the small rig cage on the second camera if I need to. I've still got my trusty Atomos Ninja Assassin, which I love. The screen is huge, which is great for checking that I'm in focus, and it doesn't add too much weight to the rig or the RS2. I don't tend to record on it though via the SSDs, as the files are just way too big. But at the same time, I feel like I should make use of the 422 colour signal to make colour grading easier. I've also invested in some new lenses, which means I can't use my follow focus anymore. Previously I was using the Canon 24-105 with a Metabones adapter, and my follow focus worked perfectly with that lens. So the reason I had Canon lenses was because I used to have a 7D Mark II, but with the Metabones adapter and the 24-105, I was just never really happy with the way the footage looked. So at the Photography Show 2018, I visited the Zeiss stand and played with the Batis lenses, and I immediately fell in love with them. I bought the 85mm, and then later on I bought the 40mm. So those are my main lenses. I love the 18mm, so feel free to send me one if you're watching Zeiss, or even maybe some Loxia lenses to try out. My audio hasn't changed. I still use the Rode NTG4 Plus when I shoot interviews, and I have that on the Rode boom pole. I then plug the mic into the Zoom H4n. I was contemplating upgrading to the Zoom H6, but I figured I'd hold off for now, as I did a bit of research and found out that the sound quality of the H4n is comparable to the H6. So maybe down the line I'll look at the Zoom H8, but for now I'll stick with the H4n as the quality is really good. Then when I'm shooting handheld, capturing B-roll, I use the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus to capture all the sounds. So that's basically it. I still use my Manfrotto tripod with the fluid head and also my Manfrotto monopod, which is still, to this day, one of the best things I've ever bought. And I find myself using it all the time for run and gun situations where I need smooth panning shots if I'm not using my gimbal. If you're interested to see what my setup is for my YouTube videos, as it does differ quite a bit to how I rig up my gear for a shoot, let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, as it does help. If you have any questions, drop them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.